All right, hello, and welcome back to another live stream. Happy Wednesday to you all. We've tweaked some things this time, so hopefully Flo's work can be a little bit more highlighted this go around. Yes. Hope you all are having a wonderful day. I'm your host, Miranda. With me, I've got in the painting screen window, we've got Flo, aka the painter Flo.
Hello.
And then we've got the disembodied voice who's taken over the identity of Fulvius.
Hello there. I might have been Fulvius the whole time. You don't know.
Yes, indeed. So I don't know what all you guys are working on this evening. I saw Thomas Grable had already posted on Facebook a beautiful reef troll. I was trying to figure out how I could show it up on here, but I couldn't figure it out, and I probably will next time. But I'd like to collect some more of these models because they're so pretty. I mean, Thomas Grable is a fantastic painter, award-winning painter, mind you, and he loves Iron Kingdom, so it's hard not to just want to see everything he paints. So if you are interested and you are on Facebook, you can feel free to share whatever you're working on, craft like miniature wise, onto as a comment response to my paint and chat announcement. And I love looking at all of your amazing works. And I'm trying to figure out how I can get it into Streamlabs or Streamyard. We're using Streamyard, yeah. And
share it.
Be able to share that exactly because this is a community thing, and I figured if I can lean more into that with these technological advancements, the better. So yeah. All right, Flo, what are you working on tonight?
More World Eaters.
So many World Eaters. You finished a Titan recently, right?
I did. I haven't posted a photo of him yet because I have a backlog of photos that I'm currently going through. So.
Well, he was a Night Titan, right?
Canis Rex.
Canis Rex, yeah.
Yes.
Okay, I gotcha. But you're gonna post it on Instagram?
Eventually, he will make his way onto Instagram. Yes.
Okay.
Just I have a huge backlog of photos that I have that stretch over time. Is I'll finish so many things at once, photograph them all, and then I'll try to put them out once a week. So that means that, if I miss a week of work, then, I have photos still. If I can just remember to post them. Because that's my weakness.
All right. Well, let's say hi to folks in the chat.
Hudson Lane is saying for the Emperor, and I think that's in reply to what Flo's painting.
That must.
You've got to balance that out.
And if you are joining us over at Rumble too, I should be able to see your comments too. So feel free to post. But yes, Hudson Lane, thank you so much for joining the stream. Mandragora, good to see you. Shale, appreciate you being here. Mandragora, just relax with a cleansing hot shower. My joints feel better. Oh, I know. Nothing like a super hot, steamy shower. I got really into this like cold exposure, thing for a while. And I'm still fairly used to it, which is helpful because generally the water in my house doesn't get super, super hot. And there's a gym at work and the water heater had broken in it for a while for like months. And so they were just like tepid showers, and I was pretty just used to it.
That sounds terrible.
I know.
I mean, I still like the way you put it. You're like, well, it's the worst part of the day, so your day can't get much worse after that.
It really does change your mood because I was looking at it from I keep trying to figure out all these hacks to, improve your perspective in life and boost your mood and help boost your energy and all that stuff. What does it do? I don't know. But anyway, you have a nice hot shower after, oh God, especially after you've gotten really sore from working out. And it is amazing. It had apparently been so long since I had an actual just hot shower that I was just so happy. So anyway, it's really good. It's really good to do. Macatag, what's up? What's this? I am present at the beginning of a stream. What the heck? I know, you made it. Good job, man. Appreciate it. Paul, thank you as always for being my wonderful moderator. Now that we have StreamYard set up, maybe I can convince you to come on, join us one of these weeks. In fact, we're going to have to start streaming soon because we've been playing Space Hulk 2. And Dark Tide had an update. And everything's taken a backlog because the new Zelda Echoes of Wisdom came out. And I have had a hard time thinking of anything else.
So,
Space Marine
right.
2? Space Marine 2, not Space Hulk 2?
Oh, did I say Space Hulk? Oops, Space Marine 2, yes.
I think she's reading the chat at the same time.
Probably.
Because there's a lot of discussion in there. Just as a quick question for everybody, is the video stuttering at all for you guys, or is that just on my machine? So let me know.
Disembodied voice. You have the fanciest computer I know, and here you are having issues.
I think it's the browser. I may have to restart it. Restart the browser.
Hudson Lane says, you got me digging out my OG Space Hulk. I think the edition we played was second, right? They were newer models, but it was like from 2012 or 20 something somewhere around there, I thought.
Something like that.
Yeah. It is a fun game. And it's funny because my channel still gets a fair amount of views on Space Hulk, but like not enough to justify the massive amount of work to set up another Space Hulk game. And I feel bad because like if I come back to it, I want to make it like really cool and epic. And so what does that mean? Well, Adepticon has had their 3D printed Space Hulk setups, and that seems like that would absolutely be a fun thing to record. But now we're 3D printing a bunch of stuff, so I've kind of stalled myself out the gate on that. Let's see, Mac Attack. I like the pre-stream video. Thank you to Disembodied Voice for making that work. Mac Attack, I'm working on my second shot of whiskey. Not sure you're all old enough to see me drinking, though. Hudson, yeah. Bring back Space Hulk, bring it back. 10 years too long. Jared Abaco, welcome. I could see them redoing Space Hulk at some point. We'll see. We'll see what happens. They're riding high on new AOS for what that's worth right now, but maybe. Seems like boarding actions were a way of building back up to another Space Hulk, though. JP got rockets. Bring on the jubilation and exaltation, for I have arrived. You may all begin to rejoice now. Welcome, JP. Appreciate you being here, as always. And Paul, thank you for sharing Flo's Instagram. Hey, Robert, thanks for joining me. Okay, so Robert was very sweet. He sent me I'm growing to be quite the Star Trek fan, and he sent me the technical manual for the original Star Trek series, which I am very grateful for and have enjoyed perusing through a couple times. I haven't had a lot of time to like just pour over it, partly because of Echoes of Wisdom. I will get there though. But the really cool thing in there is that there is a pattern for making a Starfleet uniform. And so help me Lord, I'm going to make myself a Starfleet uniform. But there's 3 different versions. I didn't even realize. So for the girls, boys, they all have the same version because who cares? But the girls have 3 different versions. And that is really cool. So I'm going to have to work on that. Maybe Flo can be a Starfleet uniform with me too. Oh no! And
they lost the disembodied voice.
Well, I don't know how to fix you and put you. Well, bugger. Get back in here, disembodied voice. More technical difficulties. Let me see if I can make you look right at least.
That was really my parents' job. I don't think they did a very good job, though.
Right. Let's modify you. Oh, that's not going to work. I have no idea how to fix it during the active stream. We didn't test for this. Well, we'll figure out how to get back in there. All right, so video fine for me? Yeah, it was running fine for me too. Shale. Finished up Wendigo and then started on Jada and Fawn Archer from Moonstone. Fawn Archer from Moonstone? I'm not familiar with any of that. But cool. JP, when I was in Panama, normal people didn't have hot water, so cold showers was the thing. You get used to it. But also it was average 80 Fahrenheit, presumably air temperature, and humid. Yeah, you want a cold shower at that point because otherwise, you almost don't stop sweating.
Humidity. I hate humidity. Hate it so much.
Yeah, that was definitely something to be used to at Nova when we showed up. We're like, DC, and all the clothing just sticks to you, and you're like, oh, right. Yes. Hudson, Darktide is my go-to at the moment to get my fix. Ogren is great. Ogren are so fun. I need to level up my Ogren. I made one with the idea of like running around as my big stompy dude, but mostly I've just leveled up and played my veteran because I love playing the sniper class. And yeah, Darktide is wonderful. There's an interesting comparison between Darktide and Space Marine 2. Like, they're both really fun in that you can play as different types of characters, but Darktide is still more like customized personality-wise to you because you can play different types of Marines, but they're still just Marines. Like, they don't have quite the sass, and they put a lot of voice acting in, so I'm not taking that away from them. It just doesn't have quite the same personality and the amount of moxie that Darktide has. It's so fun. Paul, but yes, Space Marine 2, Darktide. Oh yeah, Phasma has an update this month for Halloween. I can be on gaming side, maybe stream chat sometimes. We should definitely have a good stream.
Yeah, we have a working computer again. I can actually play.
Yay, see, there you go. I would love to get some streaming done, get back on that. Probably just on YouTube. I don't even know if I should go back to Twitch. We'll see.
Apparently you have a bunch of followers on Twitch though, so.
I do. If I can figure out how to get it to work. Maybe. It's funny when you look at streaming and you look at the different software that's supposed to quote unquote make your life easier. It's amazing how inadequate it is at fulfilling mostly basic tasks. You're like, okay, can I stream to Twitch and YouTube? And it's like, kind of, if you do it this weird way. And StreamYard claims it can, but it doesn't seem like really good for streaming video games. And then Rumble Studio has a pretty good way of streaming video games, except it also chugs the hell out of your computer. So like nothing can just be smooth is how I've felt about it anyway. It's been a little frustrating. JP, we finally got a miniatures and models category on Twitch this week. What? Oh, well, Flo, when you start, maybe you'll start streaming your painting sessions and you can do that on there.
I mean, you would probably have to be while DJ's at work because fighting over the computer otherwise.
Yeah, I know, I understand. Mac Attack, thank you so much for the super chat. My new car has a button for pretty much everything. There's even one that says rear wiper. Still afraid to try that one. Ugh, sounds like I could see Tesla going that far. Hudson says, I think I got my first box in the 90s. That would have been the first edition of Yield Space Hulk, I would think. I need to do that new train level. Yeah, you do. The train is fun. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Thunderden. Thank you for joining us. Thomas, I'm starting a unit of Marauder crew for Brine Bloods. So we're coming up on Warfare Weekend, right? When is that, Thomas? Guess I could just Google it. Tell myself here. Incidentally, I was looking up things to talk about for the stream tonight, and I was going to go to the Warhammer community website, and there's a bunch of featured news on there, but every single article I click on runs into an application error and the website crashes. Is anyone else having that issue? Because it feels like all of Warhammer community is down.
It just hates you, Miranda.
Could be. It would not be the first time I've dealt with that with technology. Oh, November 3rd. We've got another month before warfare. So you'll be so nice and prepared. Andrew, JP channeling his inner all might. Anthony Davis, welcome to the stream. Mandragora, I'd go with TNG. Best era of Star Trek, in my opinion. I saw some TNG. I think I like Data. Picard and I have the same T choice. There you
well,
are.
that's gonna endear them to you.
All right, disembodied voice. Can you hear us?
I can.
Okay.
I don't know. For some
Nice.
reason, my dedicated GPU memory was just maxed out completely. I have 16 gigabytes of it too, and it was just completely maxed.
Oh
And so
my.
even though all the programs were closed down, it was just staying there, like something had leaked into memory and wasn't purging, and so it was killing everything. So I just restarted.
Fair enough. Well, Mandragora is throwing some shade here in the chat. He says he'd go with TNG over original Trek. And I haven't gone through everything other than the fact that I grew up with Voyager. And
so clearly Voyager is the best.
Well, Voyager had a lot of charm to it. I remember when my brothers and I would watch it, there were plenty of episodes that were eye-rolling cringy where their decision making was just frustrating to us. But I don't know, as a kid, I don't know, like my logic. I'm curious to rewatch it now because I don't know if it aged better or worse, right? Because there's some things you watch later on and you're like, ooh, I liked that. But I suspect Voyager holds a solid mid. And there's some really good characters. I loved the dynamic between the Doctor and 7 of 9. And I used to have a crush on the pilot. But that's mostly all I remember. A lot of stuff happening in the holodeck. In fact, I remember there was, I think it was a Voyager episode where somebody had some medical issue and they had to like suspend them and use the holodeck to create like a fake organ to keep them going until they could do whatever.
So they could get an actual transplant?
Yeah. And so it was like they couldn't move even a millimeter. It would kill them.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah. No, the holodeck was like used for all kinds of
OP.
stuff. OP. Oh, yeah. I wanted a holodeck. I mean, what an amazing tool that would be. So anyway.
Well, 3D printer is a very tiny step toward it, right?
We're getting there.
I just remember an episode where it was one of the early ones because the show had just come out. And I remember there was something going on. The ship was like getting into a tussle with some other ship or whatever. And in the middle of everything going on, just the weird, like guy with stuff on his skin and like the weird mohawk thing had like rolled into the bridge with like a little tea cart. And we're just like, all right, everybody, here's like,
oh yeah,
we have to stop for tea or something. And
yeah,
I was just like,
and I did not have fun, like favorable opinions of him. We were always just like, can somebody kill him? They're horrible.
I was just like, what is going on? Like, aren't you busy right now?
Deeply. Hey, I mean, it happens in real life. Didn't Cameron have to deal with that on the filming of Aliens?
Yes, he did. I'm sure he had the same feeling I did. Like, what the hell is going on right now?
What the heck?
It's like, what? British unions. So maybe Voyager was just run by British unions and they had to stop whatever's going on for tea.
I mean, here.
And then they were like, we'll just film it. It's fine. And you'd be here, after all, might as well.
Robotic Dragons asking Flo, is World Eater Jackals being painted?
Yes.
You are correct. Oh, Robotic Dragon. I love being able to show these comments. This is quite fun. Mandragora or DSP if you want to be land-based and not a fleet ship uniform. Deep Space Nine. Is that? No, that's not. I don't know what DSP is.
Deep Space Planet side? I don't know.
Is that a newer one?
Space Pluto. I don't know.
Oh, he corrected. Deep Space Nine. Okay, yeah. I have very, very vague memories of DS9 being on the TV when I was around, but like maybe my dad would watch it occasionally. And then I always heard that it was a very like it's more cerebral than adventure-y kind of version, is how I heard it described. But I've not seen like hardly any DS9. So we'll see.
Apparently my dad's a big Trekkie, but I only ever watched little bits that were on TV at the time, and I couldn't tell you what it was or anything because it was so rare.
So DS9 is where you get the best Star Trek character, Quark.
Quark?
Played by the principal from the first season of Buffy.
That's right. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
It might have been the second season of Buffy. I'm trying to remember.
All right, hold on. There's okay, so I mean I know I'm just watching like TNG or the original series TOS, and I haven't really seen a lot of TNG. But I need to know, like, come on, guys, is it Kirk or Picard? Because I think Kirk is a fantastic captain. He's such a refreshing, like, don't give a heck, like, come in and.
So you're saying that the only question you ever thought was hard was, do you like Kirk or do you like Picard?
Weird Al, laying it out for us. Help me out, guys. I don't know. I know a lot of people love TNG, but man, I have been enjoying the heck out of TOS. I love it. I just have such a good time with it. So, whatever. New Ace Sculpture, welcome to the chat. Are you playing Space Marine 2? We should be playing Space Marine 2 together. Or Dark Tide. Mostly both.
Or Zelda, whatever the new Zelda is.
Zelda Echoes of Wisdom. Not a multiplayer. That's where I go to have my little hidden away. Now
You're like, this is my alone time.
Kinda. I have found time. Just squish it in there.
All right. So who out there wants Miranda to stream Legend of Zelda?
I'd totally watch that, but I love Zelda, so.
I know how to do it. It's so beautiful. Oh my God. Echoes of Wisdom. Like, it's like the Link's Awakening map pretty much, but it's also the way you'd think of like a Lego world, because the effects are, kind of in that. It's cartoony, little toon shades, right? And it's just so immersive and a huge world. And all you want to do is just go exploring it. And you could just kind of go almost anywhere you want. Like, there's some limitations because there's these rifts that open up and block stuff until you cure that. But man, I have just been gobbling up that game and just exploring and looking for holes and anything to blow up and getting into every secret nook and cranny I can get into. And it's just been like pure heaven. It's everything I wanted. So that's been very, very enjoyable. I 100% recommend that game at this point. So far, saved Death Mountain and the Zoras and the Gerudo. I mean, the Gorons. So, I'm working on it. Magatag, which version of Starfleet uniform, Star Trek II Wrath of Khan, are the only ones that don't look cruddy, in my humble opinion? Change my mind. I would argue that is choice of material, because the original series outfits are velour, and there was a problem of velour having horrible shrinkage if you wash it. So you had to they kind of had to get remade every so often because they'd get real gross, obviously, after a short bit. So I think if you take those cuts and you make maybe a little bit more of a flattering material, which could be like almost, I don't know if I'd go fully knit jersey on it, but something where it's just maybe a little bit more form-fitting and doesn't give that weird harsh shine that velour gives, then I think you will have a far superior looking Star Trek uniform. That's my opinion. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I got to make it first.
I was gonna say, if you want the technicals, you can ask Miranda.
I love it. It brings joy. Star Trek brings joy to my life. Zelda brings joy to my life. Dark Tide. Space Marine 2 is doing pretty good. Mostly just hanging out with my friends, right? That's the way to do it.
Not really hanging out with me doing any of those, but to be fair, I've been spending all my time watching horror movies because it is now officially October.
Yeah, you saw Barbarian for the first time?
Yes. Saw Barbarian for the first time, Autopsy of Jane Doe for the first time, Maximum Overdrive for the first time.
I haven't seen any of those.
Thanksgiving for the first time.
It was great. We watched Barbarian for the first time in theater. And
alone.
The only people, it was just me and Miranda in the theater, which was great. Because I think Miranda's really happy no one else was in the theater.
I would like to see some more horror films with Miranda because it would make me very happy.
I'm a freaking coward. Oh yeah, and I don't care where it is, where I am. Like in the theater, I scream my head off. I feel bad for your eardrums, their voice, but
I'll just have Tommy sit between us. It's fine.
But I mean, the horror games are the same way. Paul and I were playing not that long ago when the Lighthouse came out in Phasmophobia, and yeah, we walked in. I think the ghost was already just in the first room, and I just lost my mind because it blew up the light bulbs or something, and I was like, "Oh God, get me out of here!" then I got hunted and killed in like another room. Screamed and screamed. You know how it goes. I have never, ever acclimated to it. So, ho hum. Mandragora. Do I hate new Kirk or the new Picard? Is that how the lyrics go?
No, it's just how they go now.
Okay, I was like, wait
So
a minute.
I've heard that the 3rd season of the new Picard is actually really good. But yeah, the first season I saw a lot of it and it just looked terrible.
Thomas Grable, in my camp, original series is my favorite. I feel like there's just so much potential there, you know?
It's in your camp because it's camp.
I do like camp. That is a thing about me. That's true. Hello. Blunderden, looking great, Flo. You're getting compliments.
Thank you.
Oh, we can tell it's an official GW base, too. Thanks for clarifying.
Oh, why? Thanks.
Miniature.
Trying to see like certain areas. I'm like, I can't see it.
Andrew, Helldivers 2 had a really good update. I've never played Helldivers. Paul, did you play it? I don't know if that was a thing.
It had a total Starship Troopers feel to it that everybody liked.
Yeah, I've watched other people play it, and I'm like, I just love the Starship Troopers feeling of it. It makes me happy. But I actually love that movie, so you know.
All right, Mandragora's got a question here. Or maybe not a question, but a statement. I like that each 40k game experience is so appropriate to the scale of the protagonist. Eisenhorn is overwhelming, but still human scaled. Darktide is small squad, and Space Marine 2 is Marines versus a real swarm. Oh yeah, the swarm mechanics in that game are quite impressive.
Now, you say that, but me and 3 other varlets, we usually kill over 1,000 enemies at the end of any given mission. So I don't know, man. I don't know if what's his name, compares to my little zealot.
Titus?
If Titus does. I don't know if he kills as many things in a given mission. Because I kill a lot of things.
Oh, man. I don't know that it actually gives you a tally of all the things killed. I'll have to see. That's a great question.
Although, like, I do feel like, the things that he kills are probably a little more impressive. Like, they're just fighting Tyranids, so I haven't run across anything like so what would you say, like a Tyranid warrior? Would that be similar to like the, the Chaos Spawn or the, that troll, the little Chaos Troll thing in Darktide? Would you say those are similar? And so like those bosses that are actually tough, he just sort of takes out?
Yeah, they're pretty similar. By the way, I got another $5 super chat with. Oh wait, we already saw that one.
That's pretty good.
I think you made another one then. I thought I saw something. There's so many things in here. Mac Attack, Star Trek 2. Thank you again for the super chat. Star Trek 2 uniforms actually look like uniforms instead of workout suits. They have the white undershirt turtlenecks with the red jacket. So sharp.
Yeah, those are pretty cool. Kirk looks great in his. Looks legit.
I don't know what you're talking about. Also, congratulations to Paul hitting max level on Phasmophobia, which is no easy feat. It's level 100, and you have to play a lot to get it. Now, I know he's got a way of getting really good XP because he antagonizes ghosts. He just goes in and like pisses them off and then finds like alternative ways of identifying them, getting out of there. It's really entertaining.
Speaking of ghosts, for all of you guys out there who watch Red Letter Media, they started doing ghost hunting on the channel.
What? I kind of really want to see that.
Yeah, they did their first ghost hunt. It was some, what do we call it? Like axe murderer house up north. And it's like an hour-long episode, and it's kind of entertaining.
Huh. All right. Interesting.
They use all kinds of gear, all kinds of stuff. They have the spirit boxes, the little, oh God, I forget what you call them now. There's several different things that they use, but it's interesting.
Mr. Ballin was invited to a ghost hunt.
Who was?
Mr. Ballin was invited to a ghost hunt.
Oh, nice.
Is he doing it? Because
yeah,
I know
it was already done.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but I don't think he's. If I remember correctly, he didn't stay the night with them. He was just there for a few hours or something.
Oh,
Then
okay.
he left. I could be wrong. I can't remember.
He's like, I'm out.
Given his ghost story that he did tell, like, I don't think I would stay the night. Like,
Yeah.
if you believe that stuff, then you kind of don't want to go messing with things, in my opinion. But I don't know. Maybe that's part of why I scream at everything. JP clarifies, yes, you can. On OBS, there's a widget that allows you to multi-stream. I have used that, and it works okay. I used it on my last, at the other studio before we were doing the Streamyard setup. So I probably can. I just have to use OBS for the video game stream, which is easy enough. So yeah, but it only works for
I
two,
just
because
have
I
to
think if I
mess
do
with it.
3, it really dies. What's that, Flo?
You just have to take the time to mess with it. And
I have the widget. I have the widget on here. But yeah, a lot of it comes down to like, oh, mess with it. But basically, as soon as the live stream's done, it's like, okay, well, you got to get back to editing, filming, or planning. Or playing Zelda.
Or learning Stable Diffusion.
Yeah, that's been your life. You want to share any of things you've been working on?
What would I share?
Your voice and opinion on things.
I didn't know if it's just like showing something.
No, although apparently we can play videos on here. So if you did get one going at some point, which I think we're working on.
Yeah, I have one partially through, but I've been working with a lot of AI image generation and video creation. Mostly it's just a tool so that I can create just some. Well, I mean, trying to create a few things just for Wargamer Girl content, which would be fun.
Mm-hmm.
So we have at least one video that's pretty fun. I don't know how to load it on here though.
If you go to the present, you go to video file. I'll let you put one on there, and then we'll see. I don't know. We'll just experiment.
Let me look. Let's see here. Feel free to go on without me. I'm looking around.
JP got rocket, or Paul replies, multi-stream does work, but when it's gaming, there's a bunch of other connections that need bandwidth. Yeah, it can get real chuggy. I've noticed 2 seem to work all right. Twitch raids, which are huge in the community building tools. YouTube doesn't have that. Even the discoverability is supposedly better on YouTube. I know, and that's why multi-streaming to both seem really useful. But then you got to like set up a raid in the Twitch on the Twitch side. I haven't messed with Twitch in quite a while, so I'd have to resort that out. But my cousin streams on Twitch, and he's quite a good gamer and actually really good at horror games and doesn't get scared of everything like I do. So we're supposed to be playing at some point to figure out where it's going. Mac Attack. So who is thrilled about GW teasing the release of their greatest rule set that they have ever made? Of course, I'm talking about the Middle Earth strategy battle game.
I hear another rule set, and I'm like, oh no, another rule set.
Well, I don't know. I mean, Lord of the Rings or the Middle Earth game, I guess, has seemed to have stayed steadily popular. Whoa. Oh, hey, there you go.
Wow, that just played.
It just went in there.
So I was. Oh wait, I guess I can control it. So I got this cool model to talk, but it's still being a little weird for me.
And it's a real model, painted by a fantastic painter. I'll tell you.
Not me.
Give me a second. Whoa, that's not what I wanted.
Yeah, I uploaded the video and it just like presented it as soon as it uploaded, I guess. Not my intention.
Yeah, painted by Brian Finken from Snowflight Studios. So that is a beautiful, beautiful model. And I'm so glad that we got to kind of play around with it. So we've just we've been messing around with, well, I say me, he has been messing around with that for the last couple weeks.
Yeah, I don't know where that video went just now.
It's its own thing now. I think you could just hit play again at the bottom, that blue bar.
Of what?
See on the bottom where we all are.
Oh, it's there like it's a guest.
Yeah, you invited a video guest.
That's
Congratulations.
weird.
Did you ever play the Middle Earth strategy game? Oh my god.
So it just goes full screen. That's not what I was used to either. So we're learning StreamYard.
Indeed. But did you ever play the Middle Earth strategy game? Is that different from the Lord of the Rings game? Actually, I'm confused.
Well, I know there's a Lord of the Rings MMORPG. It's been around for years and years.
No, I mean the Middle Earth
Workshop had a Lord of the
movie
Rings
game.
thing that came out like when the movies were coming out at one point too.
Oh, that article works. Okay, great. I have no idea what the strategy battle game. I've never played any of the Lord of the Rings games. I know that was what Joy Berry got into it with before.
Yeah.
Way back when.
Well, it's like the first models I ever painted were some from the original Lord of the Rings GW game.
Hudson Lane. Voyager had 7 of 9. Hell yeah. Yeah, she was quite impressive. I don't even want to see her in the new show. It sounds like they just did her dirty. So. Paul, I was a mix of TNG and Voyager. I'm a mix of those mostly TNG. Ah. Voyager is the second worst of the OG shows, but still thought of as mostly mid-positive with some absolutely bad episodes. I can see that. Okay, so it was the 90s, right? I think. Was it 90s or 2000? It would have been late 90s, probably. Somewhere around there.
Probably.
Yeah.
But that doesn't make it bad.
No, but you had such diverse television at the time, right? Because you had early 90s, you had Xena and Hercules, which probably is part of my love for camp because I love the crap out of those shows. And then you had Buffy come out, and there wasn't a lot of supernatural stuff at the time. Like supernatural fantasy stuff was not as popular as it became in like the 2000s and later. And even now, it seems like it's very derivative works now. But you had like really procedural, cop shows and hospital shows and daytime, soap operas. And what was it, like late night comedies, like Thursday night comedy? It had like Family Matters and Martin and like
well, I mean Roseanne was still
and
going,
Home
and
Improvement and all that. And so you had a lot of comedy, but like
you had In Living Color and SNL.
Yeah, I didn't watch too much SNL. Mad TV, I remember watching Mad TV, but like we didn't have that much fantasy drama, especially. So Buffy was really interesting. And so I ended up being like, my brothers and I ended up watching like Charmed, like all of Charmed, because there was just nothing else. There's just not much to watch, okay? And so
there was I think Beastmaster was a TV series at the time.
I don't know that I watched that one. I did watch, kind of vaguely remember, the old Beauty and the Beast with Linda Hamilton. So yeah. And then you had Voyager, I'm sorry, because it was also science fiction. It was just something odd. And then later on, you got like, when we got cable, we got like Farscape and Lex. Which I do love. Anyway. It just wasn't a lot. And now I feel like you turn around. Oh, what was it? It was one of the Red Letter Media videos. They're like, here's all these shows that are getting canceled. It might be such and such, which you might be thinking, what? And this other one, you're like, when did that come out? And this one over here. And you're like, why is that out? There's just so much that nobody even knows.
Well, it's mostly like, this show's getting canceled. And your only response is, that was a show?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, anywho. Gary was seriously out of line on that video. What are you referencing?
Wait, which video?
I don't remember. We were talking about Red Letter Media, but I don't think there's a Gary wasn't in that. There's no Gary in that.
I don't think there's a Gary on RLM.
Paul, I remember that episode of the holodeck creates force field in a precise space and shape. So they made an organ. Can't remember the exact episode. Yeah. Like I have a vague memory of that.
That's right. Gilmore Girls was a guilty pleasure, says JP Got Rockets.
Yeah, but it wasn't like fantasy, right?
No, but it was guilty and it was a pleasure, and it was the 90s. And so there was like a whole series of those, like even 90210 and like.
Oh God, yeah. I watched 90210 when I was like 9 or something, like a very little kid, because I thought like that's what older kids watched and that's what grown-ups watched. So I'd want to watch it and I'd try to follow it, and it was boring.
I didn't watch any of those. Not a single one.
Paul or Plunderden says, I have to defend my lip sync title this year at the company Christmas party. Started my planning now. It's a 70s theme this year. Ooh, all right. So 70s music? Okay. Shay'll have a strong preference for DS9. I mean, eventually I'll get to it. I'm going to watch them in orders. TOS, then TNG, then DS9. Maybe Voyager. I don't know if I want to watch anything after that. I feel like everything gets really like goes downhill, and I kind of want to just enjoy the beauty of what Star Trek was. Thomas Grable agrees with you, by the way, that Quark was awesome.
Quark was awesome.
He was very mercantilistic, right?
Including, I think, an episode where Kirk, I think he's one of the aliens that crashed at Roswell. It was like him and some other Ferengi.
Okay.
I vaguely remember this.
What? I read The Day After Roswell, and those aliens were not described as looking anything like Ferengi. I was like remembering what the name of the alien was. Shale, Cisco punched Q in the face so hard that he never came back to the show. Who's Cisco? Who's Kit? Well, okay, remember Q. He was
so Cisco's the, I don't know what you'd call him, but he's the guy who was like essentially the captain of Deep Space Nine. But since Deep Space Nine's an actual space station, he's the whatever head guy in charge, like whatever. But that's Cisco, who's supposed to be really cool. Like I've heard, I didn't watch a lot of DS9, but like everybody really likes the character of Cisco.
Kirk bedded with everyone. That is not true, because there's a whole drama around Yeoman Rand, played by Grace Lee Whitney, and he definitely never did anything with her as far as the show lore is concerned, because there was an intention for that, and then they were like, no, we need him to be more of a free-wielding guy. And so far, how many episodes in am I? Like 9 or... No, I think I've watched 11 now. And, you know, Kirk's controlled himself perfectly fine. Now, we'll see what happens in later seasons. I don't know, because they kind of figure out, I guess, the character and how they want to write him. But so far, he's honestly been mostly good. There was one episode where, you know, he's talking to an underage girl in a way that I don't really care for, but
it's like a little weird to watch.
Mm-hmm.
And I think his dialogue's written so that it fits the story of what's going on. Doesn't make it feel very natural, though.
No, it's uncomfortable. They're like, modernized. Do not look at this well. Andrew, we can argue until we're blue in the face whether TOS or TNG and Kirk or Picard, but I think we can all agree and then Earth is our superior lord and creator. Hail, praise Menoth. Oh my gosh. War Budgies would be proud of you, Andrew. Thank you for sharing that. Also TNG and Kirk. Skelger. Have been a bit. I've been busy the last few weeks with work, but hey, I went to Phoenix last week and finally met Floppy Moose. What? Oh wow!
Went shotguns.
NFL game. That's amazing. I love that.
That sounds great.
Heck yeah, dude! I love that. I hope those guys are all doing well. My old Warcraft guild, they all moved on to the next expansion for Burning Crusade after Classic had kind of gotten done in. I don't know. We were raiding Nax. We were just really tight, fun guild. And then the next expansion came out, and I was like, nope, I'm done. Newt wants to retire. She did. Need to bring her back though, so that we can be heroes around Hyrule, around Azeroth. Only one with his Jerry. I liked Voyager the best. Only one with Hispanics, Native Americans in the cast. Huh. Okay. So it would have been. Well, I mean, the '90s was actually kind of an amazing time for a lot of that stuff before it got like used for maybe more nefarious purposes.
Well, I'm trying to think, like, I guess the original series didn't have anyone Hispanic in the cast. I think they were trying to go more for like kind of what do you call it, like international, like people coming together. So they would have, you know, Scottish and Russian, especially because because it was during the Cold War, right? And so the idea that we were getting along with the Russians, so that's where Chekhov came in, and then yeah, and then of course, I mean, it's not so shortly after World War II, but yeah, having a Japanese guy, because they weren't just like, oh, this is their ethnicities. It was like, no, they're from these countries, and they're just coming together from Earth to pilot the Starship Enterprise. But they did all speak English.
Yeah, well,
because
let's be real. Like, how much are you gonna dick around with universal translators? They were so new for what the show was, right? Like they were already like inventing so many things. So to look back and be like, well, you didn't cover this and you didn't cover this, like
no, and so it was such a huge like the whole idea of it was that the world, well, the planet of Earth had really kind of come together eventually, like finally all these countries that were at odds with each other, they came together and explored the stars. But yeah, there wasn't really anyone Hispanic on the original series. And then TNG, I'm trying to think, but I don't really think there either. So yeah, it's interesting.
Good point. And yes, Scoldra, I would love to see videos from Classic later. You should share them on my Discord. Shale, my mom went to school with Renee Aberjonas, who played Odo in DS9. So I got to go to dinner with him after cons. That's freaking cool.
Oh, that's fun.
No, and that's the other thing. Like, it seemed like a lot of the Star Trek people seemed really nice at cons, and you know, so many people got to meet the cast and have like a good time. So, hey, Jake Dog, welcome to the chat.
Hey, it's Jake Dog.
Scoldra, only gotten through the first mission in Space Marine 2 so far. No operations yet. The operations are quite a bit more challenging than the campaign. In fact, and I think Paul learned it, like that the difficulty level in Space Marine, you can play, say, on normal mode in the campaign, and that's fine. But if you go on normal mode for the operations, it's significantly harder. So easy mode, I guess, in the operations is a lot more closely resembling of normal mode on the campaign. So just something to keep in mind. But the operations are really fun. Like, it's cool because you get to see the other side of the story side, right? You're playing the campaign, and then the operations are also really part of the main story. So it's definitely worth doing, although definitely worth doing with friends. I'm getting my bulwark leveled up. So that I think is the Space Marine of choice for me right now. And he's got a sweet old sword and shield and can block pretty much anything. Andrew, yes, stream Zelda. Okay, well, you can twist my arm. I'm just going to go get up and do it now.
So here's one for Flo.
What makeup paints am I using? Right now I'm using Pro Acryl.
So that's from Monument Hobbies, which we know the owner of. So, there's a little bit of, well, I wouldn't say there's any kickback, but I like the guys, and they are locally made paints. So Pro Acryl are quite nice. I know they...
And by locally, we mean locally out of Arizona.
They're U.S. based. Yeah, and I know they did a whole thing with their pigments. They make sure that all of the paints mix really evenly together, because I guess some paints...
I think like their little pigment grinders, they really grind them finer or something like that. They so Jason Craze is the guy who owns the company, and he's actually puts a lot of... Well, he's a pro painter himself, like a really good painter, and so
pretty good.
He puts a lot of
thought and time into what you
Yeah.
what makes a paint good. And I really do like a lot of their paints. Any of their like whites or their ivory and stuff like that, the pigment is great without it being too thick of a texture. And it's not as streaky as you would find from a lot of other paints. I've had no problem with any of the metallics that I've used. I actually love their black wash. Was it it's just called
It's just called black wash, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
And then there's like a black silver, dark silver.
Yeah, you have like a lead, almost a gunmetal color, I think.
Yeah.
But as opposed to using like the newer version of what they did with the Citadel version of washes, I like it better than I like the 2 thin coats ones, because I've tried those ones out and they're very similar to the ones that you get from Citadel. Who'd have thought?
Better bottles though. The dropper system, I think, is kind of what everybody wants anymore.
Dropper system is better. I wouldn't say necessarily it's the best for washes, just because they are so thin. You can't just put them on a wet palette or anything like that. You really do need a container for them. But what I was gonna say, now I'm drawing a blank. I was in the middle of something. But as far as using like oranges and yellows, I've really enjoyed the new Fanatic paints from Army Painter. Those are really good. And then if you're looking to color match something from GW and you're having trouble getting GW paints because they don't restock anything, which is something I've found to be a big problem. Yeah. 2 thin coats is a way to go, and I actually any red that's on these models is actually the Scarlet from 2 thin coats, which is basically Mephiston red, which I couldn't find for 2 months from Citadel.
Fair enough. Hudson, yes, they do also make brushes. They actually partner with different painters to make brush lines, say like the Sand Lens brush line and various other painters. I want to say Adam even had one, possibly with them. But if you just go to the Monument Pro Acryl website, they've got those. And I think they have cases for carrying like paints and stuff too.
They have stuff. Cases.
They have what?
I said, yeah, they do have painting cases.
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
I've never used any of them, but they do have them.
They do indeed. So, yeah, we love Monument here. They're quite good. P3 also is having a resurgence. They did a Kickstarter a while back, raised a crap ton of money for the relaunching of that paint line. But it is a new formula, so we'll see whether or not that, passes muster with people. Be kind of curious.
Yeah, and you can choose whether you want it in dropper bottles or the pots for that one.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. Shale, by the way, also says, for washes, I use silicone bubble popper fidget toys, which I now swear by. Yeah, I think Adam from Tabletop Minions actually he made some. I don't know if he's exactly selling them, but those seem pretty good. You can also get really like little cheap ones at the dollar store. They're not silicone, but works just fine for a wash. So things to do. Robert says, I'm so glad that you like it, TOS. My whole career as a draftsman in engineering firm is because of classic Trek. Got my first set of Enterprise blueprints in 1975 at a convention when I was 10. And that is such a wonderful story. And I've seen Robert in Star Trek uniform, in 2 different Star Trek uniforms. One as like a little kid, and then one as a young adult. And I believe your mom made them, which is just like an amazing story. So I adore it. I adore it so much. I love what, like, when a show can get such wholesome responses from people where they've been able to identify like a career they really resonate with, or they can just get so into the world. And I mean, it's kind of why cosplay is just so fun. If you ever go to a convention and you're cosplay, you always feel like you're just suddenly part of like this little club to where everyone's just like, oh my God, you enjoy that too? Or I enjoy that. That's so great. And you play dumb games with each other. It's really quite wonderful.
Well, I know some of the what was it? Even some of the just inventions in general, like the original design of the flip phone was was inspired by Kirk's like communicator when he'd flip it open.
I was trying to flip it over and it would always like overflip where you're like, I feel like it should just go up to a certain point. But, you know, I mean, they had so little time to make any of those.
And then there was which movie? It's like Star Trek The Voyage Home, I think it was. It's the one with the whales. So for people who've seen them, they'll know what I'm talking about. But I remember even as a kid when I saw it, because I saw it in theaters, but at one point, Scotty, like they have to figure out a way to hold these, like an aquarium that'll hold these whales. And so Scotty like impresses everybody of the 1980s, which is when it was, right? That with his knowledge of showing them how to make transparent aluminum. And then it was great because like several years ago, I ran across this video on YouTube where they literally figured out how to make transparent aluminum. And it is actually stronger than glass. And it's like every property that it had in the movie, it kind of has. Like it kind of works for bulletproof glass. And so there's if for people who are fans of Star Trek, definitely go check it out. It's like a YouTube video on transparent aluminum. And as soon as I heard it, I was like, oh my God, like from Star Trek. Like I knew right away.
Real.
It's real. It's all real.
It's like Justin Long in Galaxy Quest.
Yeah.
I was like, I know, it's so stupid. No, it's all real. I knew it. I love that movie. I love that movie even more. Anyway.
Yeah, it's a great movie.
Robotic Dragon, Barbarian was great. I watched a horror film a day through October. Started with Tarot, very meh. Then watched Ravenous Today, 1999. Wasn't very good either, but it's apparently a mild comedy / horror.
Is that the one with the one that takes place in like the mountains and everything? It's like a Wendigo story with cowboys and stuff, and it's
Wendigo story.
What is I'm blanking on his name. The guy who married Courtney Cox. He was in Scream. But either way, I think he was in it too.
Arquette?
Yeah, David Arquette. I think he was in that. I have to double check.
I don't know this movie. Ravenous. It's a Western cannibal film starring Guy Pearce, Robert Carlyle, Jeffrey Jones, and David Arquette. Okay.
I saw it in the theater in 99, so that's the last time I saw it.
Oh my goodness. Okay, nice. If you have not seen it already, I 1,000,000,000% recommend The Black Phone as a horror movie. It's
really good.
It's so good. It was one of my favorite horror movies the last several years. Barbarian had a really strong creepy aesthetic and feel. But like Flo and I were talking about it, I don't know that it necessarily survives rewatches once you kind of know what to expect. There is like the creature in it is very disturbing and uncomfortable to watch. Similar feeling I got from Alien Romulus. The thing at the end I did not feel comfortable watching, but I also wouldn't really call it a good movie. It was okay.
Oh, so for Halloween, Miranda's going to finally watch for the first time Life Force.
Yeah, that one's on the list.
Science fiction horror. And then also what is it? Reanimator.
Yeah. You've never seen Reanimator?
Mm-mm. No, apparently it's a cult classic. I've missed a lot of the cult classics. I think those are the things that too, though. I don't know exactly why. Like maybe they were just never cheap enough to watch on streaming or free, like available freely or something. Like because it took forever before I finally watched like The Sound of Music. We had to buy it?
My place. Nope.
No, I borrowed it from you. Okay, yeah. But it's like you couldn't just watch it on streaming anywhere.
I straight up had you guys come over and put it on. I was like, okay, you need to watch this. We're watching it.
And it was the same thing with Citizen Kane. Like when I finally watched that movie, it was like you had to really go out of your way to find it and get it to watch. So
I actually haven't seen Citizen Kane.
It's quite good. Robert says the uniform colors were bright primary colors as a marketing decision to get people to buy color televisions as they were the new luxury item in the late 60s.
Correct. I've always heard that too.
Heck yeah. On to gaming news, Plunderdead says, I'm getting my force ready for Adepticon. I'm bringing an entire new army this time, so I have to start now. Yeah, you do. That'll be exciting.
Oh, yeah. Well, we have Valhalla coming up in the spring, and we are working on terrain.
Yes, so much terrain. So that'll be our winter. Robert says, third season they changed from velour to satin uniforms. Okay, yeah, so you could get like a stretch satin. I feel like that would work really well for the uniforms. JP, Mike allows you to play other games than B&P at conventions, Blood and Plunder, yeah?
Yeah.
Nice. Helldivers ran into out-of-game problems when Sony screwed with the distribution. Yeah, I remember hearing about that. Currently, there's a bunch of countries where you can't play the game, including Vatican City. Let the Pope hell dive. Well, that's quite a slogan. Oh, goodness gracious.
Good old Sony.
Man, never played Helldivers 2. Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, there's so many games to keep up with, frankly. It's a little hard. I know at the beginning of the year, we were like, oh, Lethal Company is really fun. And then Helldivers really took over from there. And it seemed like there was a new hotness every month on the game streaming. And I was like, I can't do that. Like, I need to finish a game when I play it. And so I'm going to dedicate myself and do this. I say that. I obviously am never going to finish like Lethal Company. Like, how do you even finish a game like that? But you know what I mean.
Wait, is there a story mode in that one?
I don't think so.
Oh, okay. Well,
there's just lots of different places to go. So I think there's still planets I haven't necessarily explored.
Oh, I see. So you just haven't gone to the places?
Yeah, I just haven't seen everything. Like some of the weird little monsters in there are super creepy. Especially the one where like it only moves when you're not looking at it. So you have to stare at it the whole time. And you're like, but I need to turn around to open this door. And so I know it's going to come after me. And I don't like this. So, yeah. Anyway, creepy. Same here. I only run CDOG Game Studio products at the conventions. Doesn't leave any time for other games. It can be difficult. Even just going to conventions to hang out with your friends, it makes it hard to play other games. Like, you've got to dedicate yourself. Have you watched Star Trek 2? I have not. I don't think. So I'm going to have to. Do you or anyone on the chat paint their board game miniatures or just board game models? Well, Space Hulk, that was definitely a board game that got painted. And then Flo, I know you've painted a ton of Nemesis.
I painted some Nemesis. I painted some Zombicide. Really, I want to paint more, but I haven't had the time to.
I mean, so there's been, you've done a lot of, what is it, Cthulhu Wars you've painted?
Oh, yeah, you painted Cthulhu.
I have done Cthulhu Wars, yeah.
And then Kingdom Death.
Yes. But then, again, a lot of what I painted for those was for other people also, so it wasn't my own.
Yes, indeed. Oh, we got another super chat. I need to... Thank you again, Mac Attack. Appreciate the generosity. Have you seen the original The Hitcher with Rutger Hauer? Now, there's
I have not, but that's on my list, actually. That is one I really want to see.
I'll watch it with you. That sounds fun.
Do you now?
Maybe.
I will hold you to that.
Give that Sorsha blonde hair and it passes Miranda, maybe.
Wait, did we pass this one? Have I seen this one already? Did you just now recently watch An American Werewolf in London?
No, I haven't recently watched it. I rewatched it recently.
Oh, okay.
But you just enjoy it.
Yes. Yeah, remember I brought it over so you guys could watch it.
I've seen it. I saw it years ago.
Yeah, I brought it over so like Miranda could watch it because you guys said it was weird.
It is weird.
It is a weird movie. It has some really good
love
effects.
the dark humor of it.
Yeah, no, American Werewolf in London's worth seeing. Okay, Paul, I'm going to hold you to it. You can mod and know what the heck to do on Twitch. Good evening, Olympia's last loyal son. Welcome to the chat. Appreciate you being here.
There's what is it? The girl in American Werewolf in London. I'm trying to remember her name. It's the same girl in Logan's Run.
Yeah. I don't remember her name anymore. Dang it. Yeah.
I know her name in the movie is Alex.
Jenny Agutter.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
That's
right. My Google foo is faster than you. Mandragora, wow, I haven't thought about Joy Berry in years. I bet she's busy with her kids. She started working for Titan Forge, didn't she? Last I remember was Creative Assembly, and I knew she left them to go somewhere else, so maybe it's Titan Forge. But yeah, she's gone off, enjoyed her life, and I definitely wish her well. Oh, man. Gilmore Girls is a guilty pleasure. The snappy dialogue kept my attention. I never watched Gilmore Girls. I don't think we watched that one so much.
I just remember the big consensus with that movie is that the mom was hotter than the daughter.
Oh.
It was just like this whole thing that you'd always hear from everyone.
It's like the problem with the new Snow White movie where everyone's like, why would you cast Gal Gadot as the jealous witch? That seems like a bad call.
Well, yeah,
it's what's on the inside, don't you know?
Well, it's like with what's her name, as Snow White, blanking on the actress's name, but it's like Gil Gadot's asking the mirror on the wall, and the mirror's just like, well, I mean, you're the one who was a model. Like, fair enough.
Yeah, it just
Rachel Ziegler, that's her name.
Yeah, I feel like it's gonna just go badly for them. Man, come on, guys. What's up? Oh, there we go. Shale coming up with the info. Voyager Holographic Lungs episode is titled The Phage. Season 1, episode 4. I love all the nerds in my chat right now. Oh, man. No, there was a channel that was slagging all the popular YouTubers like Adam Brent, called them grifters and corporate shills. Oh, it's a channel that was slagging? Oh, I don't know. I know nothing about this. So out of the drama.
There was a
You don't need it.
Star Trek Strange New Worlds is 10 of 10 of favorites. Strange New World. That's an animation, right? Is that the cartoony one? Or is that... There's another one called Lower Decks. Maybe I'm confusing it.
I think Lower Decks is a comedy cartoon one, but Strange New Worlds might also be animation.
Okay. We'll have to see. He literally made a 2-minute video grabbing my comment, then deleted it, then deleted my comments in a later video. What the heck?
Who did that?
Some guy named Gary, I guess.
Huh.
Oh my goodness. No time. Let's see. I like the episode of TNG where he sends Picard back to his younger self. Is there Jean-Luc Picard here? Oh my goodness. Classic was a fun-filled adventure, but yeah, really wicked. I could show you a few bits. Yeah, oh yeah. That's for classic World of Warcraft. You're not painting this evening, Wargamer Girl? I'm not, but this new setup and my sweet new Lucent light from Game ND, I should be able to set that up. Just haven't actually brought my paints back from the studio yet. I liked Walter Coing as Chekhov on Star Trek, but I loved him as Bester on Babylon 5. So Babylon 5 I actually didn't ever watch. For whatever reason, I didn't end up seeing that one.
I saw one episode of just put a fish. It's the Babel fish.
Oh my god.
Well, from Hitchhiker's Guide.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
The only episode I ever saw, I did see one, and it was this like weird off episode that I really just kind of super loved. And it's apparently because Babylon 5 was also, I think, a space station. And so is like on a border and there's like war breaking out and all. And the entire episode just surrounded these two mechanics, like maintenance guys that would just work on the station. And you would see all the main characters like in the background doing stuff. But the whole episode was just about these guys who are kind of working on stuff and they end up taking a break. And at one point they're discussing, they're sitting in they're like just sitting on buckets or something, just taking their lunch break. And you could see the starship or the it was like ship to ship combat outside, right? Like fighters. And one guy was telling the others like, oh yeah, I see the whatever race, their ships, when they explode, there's no fire in space. So when they explode green because the gas that they breathe, right? The air they breathe is so filled with this chemical. And so when it ignites, it actually is this color. But our ships, they explode yellow. And, they're just kind of going through just general stuff. But it's like just following a couple of random Joes, like on the station as something like really big and super important's happening. I always thought that was a really neat episode. But I'd never seen the rest of the show, so I had no context for it.
Oh, well, all right then. All right, JP, that was a great idea. I will reach out to Jason after this, actually. Be like, hey, give me a discount code, Jason.
Oh, where we can promote his paints?
Yeah.
Heck yeah, we should do that.
We're doing it anyway. Okay, yeah, and then to Hudson, who had asked about brushes earlier, there's the Sam Lens, I guess weapon rack is what he calls it. So if I recall correctly from the P3 from the Kickstarter can be ordered in dropper bottles, but will be in the classic jars at retail. Oh, weird. Okay, interesting.
Okay, I know that Ninjon had said that both were ways to have them, so I didn't know how that was set up.
I have a Daniel Jackson SG Stargate 1 cosplay with the correct tactical vest and a P90, but now that I grow a beard, I think I'm thinking Obi-Wan. Okay. Hey, Katie and Sergeant Steele, welcome. Hopefully you're still here, but anyway, I appreciate you being here. My cosplay did make me feel much more part of the 40K community. Now I'm unsure if I can go to a convention without it. It is so fun, especially since there's not so much 40K cosplay out there. So when you do show up in one, it's like, it really just is a special feeling.
No, what you have to do is you have to find out what's going on, like join the local 501st chapter.
Yeah.
Like with all the Star Wars, all the Star Wars fans. And every time they go and do an event, you just show up in your costume as well. And you act confused as to why you can't hang out with them.
Yeah.
And then just do it every time. So they're just like, oh my God, it's that guy. You're like, what? I have my costume.
That would actually be amazing. Anyone else going to Warfare Weekend next month? I will not be there, but have so much fun without me. I think we'll be in Austin that weekend. Robert, if I could have one piece of tech from Classic Trek, it would be anti-gravs, a handheld device that attaches to an item, rendering it weightless. Because moving stuff sucks. Wow.
So wait a minute. What's the limitation on that? Can I literally attach that to like a battleship? Or could I attach it to, you know what I mean? Like an aircraft carrier? Like how what's the size limitation on it? Because that sounds like that could be, I mean, it's really cool, but it sounds like it could be super cool.
Flo, have you heard of this one? Andrew's played No, I'm Not a Human recently, a fun horror game. Have you heard of that?
I do not know that one.
Well, might be worth checking out. Who knows? Oh, excuse me. There's a friend of mine. I actually tried to get 40K events there in the past. For a different event. WV PopCon.
West Virginia PopCon.
Might not hurt to try again. Never know. I'm committed to another game conference already. Love to hit Warfare Weekend sometime. It's not too bad a drive for me. I don't know. Maybe we could try for next year. Yes, the ultimate horror film, The Sound of Music. Hey, there's some genuinely scary moments for the people in there.
It's creepy, all right? The hills are alive. They don't just have eyes, okay?
Oh my God. Oh my God, the Romulus alien they made as a popsicles 3D print. Oh, okay. Creepy. Oh, wow, Valhalla's in the spring. I was about to to say when that started up. Very much interested in going this year. Need to finish painting my Votan. Lots to do. Yes, you do. Yes, so we moved it to spring because I could not compete with the Bridezillas who rent out that cabin during the month of October, and apparently fall became the time everyone wanted to get married. So we got shoved out.
Yeah, we could not compete with the Bridezillas.
Hello, Miranda and friends. Hi, Pete's Fried Chicken. Appreciate you, the Fried Chicken Gaming, of course. My wife let me buy a Marvel Zombie Side bundle off eBay, so that'll be my new project. Ah, how fun!
That sounds like quite a project.
Oh my God, Captain Pike rules. He's in Star Trek.
Pike, he was the original captain. Yeah.
He's like in a different pilot, right?
Something like that. Yeah. He's also, I think what I'm trying to remember now, the J.J. Abrams Star Trek. Is he the one that Thor plays? Freaking, what's his name?
Chris Hemsworth?
Chris Hemsworth, yeah. Let me look.
I haven't seen those movies in a while. I don't really remember them. Apparently Strange New Worlds is in fact live action. Delancey is awesome. Okay. Patty's Parlor. I love the new Wargamer Girl avatar medal. Hey, Patty. Hope you're doing all right. Good luck with everything tomorrow. Our thoughts are with you, just so you know. Andrew. It's hard to call Adam a grifter at this point. He's played forever. I think Adam in particular, he didn't like the Reign in Hell game. So that's related back to this. Solo wargaming shows. Main job was that YouTube kept only recommending the larger channels, which YouTube kind of tends to do.
Okay, so Bruce Greenwood played Pike in that one, and Chris Hemsworth played George Kirk, which I guess is Captain Kirk's dad.
Okay. Seemed like he'd be kind of young for that, but okay.
Well, it's like back in the past. You know what I mean? Because he was a captain, and he's on some ship, something crazy is going on, and I don't know, it maybe is a Superman Jor-El situation. I barely remember it. It's been some years ago, but it was it was like either way he had a little kid, and so I think he died in whatever the spaceship thing was going on, and then Kirk grew up, without a dad, and so he has to drive cars around to listening to Beastie Boys or whatever. And
I kind of I remember that from the trailer.
I don't think Sabotage was in that one, but there's some other.
Maybe we saw recap.
Yeah, Jennifer Morrison plays his mom, Winona Kirk.
JP Got Rockets has an important question. Should I finish my Tanith first and only cosplay? Well, one, yes. There was a fantastic Tanith cosplay at Nova this year. I wrangled that guy. I got him up on stage and everything. I was like, you look so good. I need to get pictures of you.
Who was he? He was like a sniper guy, right?
Yeah, he was playing
one of the
characters. It might have been Corbin.
Well, he had a long sniper rifle.
Well, I don't think he was playing Larkin. So who would have been a different character? Maybe. But yeah, he did. I don't exactly know the character. I saw him later post on Reddit because we had a professional photographer at Nova who took really beautiful pictures of all the cosplayers because that photographer happened to specialize in cosplay photography, so it worked perfectly.
Oh, that's great.
So he was sharing his pictures on Reddit, and I thought he had mentioned it was like Colin Corbeck, maybe was his character. Need to still get back to the rest of the Gaunt's Ghosts books, but yeah. One, everyone loves the Tanith. He did a really great job with the little blue tattoo on his face. So I don't think that would be too hard to do. And other than that, you're kind of just in Ranger gear. So probably could do it.
I know DJ is a big fan, so.
Samuel Sanfratello, welcome to the chat. Appreciate you being here, of course.
Did I miss it? Did we know Patty was in the chat?
I did. I said hi to Patty. He complimented the Wargamer Girl avatar.
Oh.
Yes.
I must have missed that. Wait, which one's the Wargamer Girl avatar?
The
bomber girl? Oh, okay. Oh, the thumbnail. Yes, I see what you're saying.
I think he means the thumbnail.
Okay, I was like, I'm not sure what's new, but that's right.
Rignon Roach. Yeah, I'm still catching up on the chat. Sorry. It's
But
been lively in here. It's fun to hang out, chat,
But-
watch Flo catch up or get her minis done. Oh, we're washing now.
How? They look dirtier.
What's in Austin? It's a secret right now, but hopefully it'll be revealed.
No,
after
it's a secret to everybody.
everybody.
Have you been playing Zelda and you didn't jump straight to that?
God, I want to play so bad. I didn't even play the last couple days because I stayed up so late the other night, and I was like, I can't do this. I supposedly have a job. Anyway, I consider The Sound of Music as a war movie. They Flight, N451's The Power of Music. Sound of Music is kind of a war movie. I mean, it is set in that time, and it's God, it's such a dynamic movie. Or you really feel like you have an epic adventure with them. So.
Yeah, no, it's a really good movie. I like it, but they use a music and performance to handle the Nazis.
Yes. Melinda, welcome to the chat. Hi.
Hey.
Hello.
Yes, Hemsworth was Pike in the first reboot. Huh?
No, according to IMDb, it's he's his dad, and Pike is a different guy. I thought so too.
Excuse me. Pardon. Yes, mix up. Okay, yeah, easy. And Patty also confirmed it was sabotage. So Beastie Boys was in fact who young Kirk was playing. Young Pike, young Kirk. Which one?
It's young Kirk.
Human.
Young Kirk. Okay.
But was it? Because I thought the sabotage you didn't hear until like the third or fourth one, the one with the girl with the white hair and the little face paint thing.
Oh yeah,
I know they play it there. Yeah, because they were going to listen to some classical music, which apparently is the Beastie Boys.
Oh no, the Star Trek references are falling short. I know, I'm too new to this. I'm sorry. I want to be there with you guys. I'll get there.
She does have a really cool shirt though.
Samuel or Rig asks, which Zelda? So it's the Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom, the new game that came out on the Switch on September 26th, which I bought digitally so that I could play it as soon as it struck midnight, and just love. It's the like 2.5D kind of setup, so not a full 3D, what you would think of 3D like Tears of the Kingdom or something, but it's quite fun. I quite enjoy it. And yeah, Patty confirmed that thumbnail. I hope to join you next show. Yeah, I want to stay up late, but can't eat or drink after 11 tonight, and the surgery isn't until 2:30. It's going to be a long day.
Oof, good luck, man.
You got this, dude. That's the throwback top-down one. Yeah, well, they kind of always, with Zelda, they always kind of kept doing like a full 3D version, but then always going back to the top-down or the 3/4 view.
It's like what is that 2.5D? It's kind of like that style. Because you can't really change your camera angle, right? Even though the game itself is fully 3D.
You can't. So it's definitely a specific style. Pete says, what do you think about the new edition of Kill Team? I kind of got used to the last edition, so reluctant to have to buy all new stuff after browsing the new rules and not finding them as clear. I don't know that the new Kill Team is going to do all that well. It seems like the changes that they made were not anything people were particularly excited about. I played the first edition of Kill Team, and whenever they went to the new one, like literally just their use of Lego blocks or whatever for distances did not, like, it turned me off. I was like, I'm done. I'm not interested in this. So with the new edition, I believe they're bringing back proper measurements. And so that should be cool. But at this point, it's like, well, I'm already playing 40K. I have stuff for 40K. I know the rules for 40K. There's enough FAQs already to keep up with that. Like, I don't know that I feel like playing another rule set. It's why I've not tried new AOS. It's why, even though going to Nova, if you got the Supernova, you got an entire Scaventide box. It's like, I'm probably not going to try new AOS. Probably not going to try new Kill Team. Like, there's too many games that are demanding your time, and because the rules all need to be different, it's also a significant enough investment that just becomes really hard to justify. And I can see if you already have. What's that?
I'd say not only that, but then the rules change so often in 40K that just trying to keep up with all the changes that happen all the time.
Well, if you are already playing Kill Team, you probably can, you know, it's not that hard to go from edition to edition. It's just, but if it's not exciting you, I mean, that was a big problem with War Machine when it went from Mark III to Mark IV, and everyone's like, well, actually, no, when it went from Mark II to Mark III, a ton of people dropped off because that rule change was not significant enough to fix the problems that people were upset about, or give enough new stuff for the people who were, you know, on the margins. There were a lot of people who were kind of already looking out the door, looking for a reason to exit the game. And all that rule set did was give everybody an off-ramp to leave the game. And I don't know that won't happen with Kill Team here. I just don't see there being a whole bunch of excitement for it.
I think there's probably a pretty significant number of people that'll just play it because it came out. But I think one of the biggest things that a lot of people, so there's two issues that I think I have with it, which is on the one hand, I agree with Adam that it having just a set prescribed like list, you know what I mean? It's like, oh, you play, I don't know, Blood Angels. This is your kill team. And that's that. You're done.
Yeah.
And it's like, I kind of like being able to kind of have my own dudes, you know, and figure out, you know, the way that, wow, I'm blanking on the name of the game. The Warhammer Fantasy Kill Team. Yeah, I know. So I can't remember, but either way, that one where you have your little war band. No, not Warcry.
No. Well, I know there were Spearhead campaigns.
No. It's an old one.
Oh,
like the oldest game they haven't come back around to, and everybody's just fine with it. More time. Thank you.
Okay, Rig 9 Roach called it out.
Thank you. But yeah, the way that like Mordheim was, where you're building your own kind of war band out there. And I know a lot of people really enjoyed approaching Kill Team that way, where you could kind of, you know, put several guys together. You could kind of have this like ragtag band of whatever. And you know, you could set up lore behind it even, right? Like if you do Imperial Guardsmen, it's like, why would you have, you know, a couple of, a couple of like the Tempesta Scions with a group of Cadians and 2 Catachan, right? And you're like, no, I mean, that's just who got like rounded back up, right? After like this botched, you know, I always think of Saving Private Ryan, you know, when all the airdrops, the airborne guys like parachuted in, and then they all got scattered. And so people were just rounding up, finding who they could find and just being like, all right, there's enough of us. Let's go cause mayhem. Right. And it's like that kind of thing, you know, like things had gone bad, but units are just grouping up so that they can go be effective. And it's like, you can come up with all kinds of cool stories. And especially when they had rules for being able to change, you know, the way Mordheim does, where it's like, oh, I've done 3 battles. And over this time, this guy has become a veteran, and that guy, we found some gear, and so he's upgraded this or that, or you know what I mean. And you can kind of give them little characteristics that help them out, and even hurt them, right? Like somebody could just pick up an injury, but it's like they don't have those kinds of rules anymore, and it's just like a very almost just a tournament style like skirmish game, and that's it. I think a lot of people, that's not what they're looking for, and there's not really something else to fill that space either for a lot of people. The other thing that I argue with is the game still takes too long. It's the thing everybody does is where they're like, okay, we've taken this game where you have like 100 models on the table. Now you have 8 to 12. This game's still going to take just as long. And it's like, what? Why?
No, the fastest game I still ever played was Warhammer Underworlds. And I still have generally enjoyed it. So, but Paul also points out that there are no Tyranid kill teams right now, so that's a bit of a problem, especially with them being so popular.
I mean, especially with that being one of the 2 armies in their introduction to 40K, you know, for the new edition. It's like, oh, cool. these Tyranid things, these are neat. Hey, what's Kill Team? It's like, something you can't play with your Tyranids with. It's like, oh.
Fair enough. Pete, yeah, after playing Bolt Action, I was just happy that I didn't need rule books and army books and lists to remember all my army rules. It was really refreshing. Yeah, I mean, when I played Bolt Action, I played the Bolt Action campaign at Valhalla because we have an amazing Bolt Action campaign. Like the guys in Salt Lake City who run it. Oh my gosh, beautiful.
Oh yeah. No, Valhalla is huge for Bolt Action.
Bolt Action, yeah. And so when I got to play that, it was pretty accessible, like really nice and easy. And it's like GW gets away with bloated rules and books and FAQs and all that stuff, but nobody really wants to put up with that stuff. And so I don't think it's like great for other game companies to be doing. And it seems like a lot of them have gotten that message. Including the new Warm Hordes. I mean, the rule book is free online, it's free to play. It's just buying the miniatures, which is a relative, all things considered, not that bad an investment. But I know that gets really hard for the manufacturers because they're competing with 3D printing now.
Yeah.
So that is definitely the difference.
I still feel like having so the original like boxes that Privateer Press used to do. Like I feel like having those and just having them 3D printable online.
Yeah.
And allowing those to kind of be played in the game. It's like, it's not enough. You'll still want to buy stuff and everything, but it's enough that if someone at the game store 3D print stuff, then they can round up a whole lot of new players by going, you know what, just show up. You can have these. I'll print them for you. They're yours. And if you like the game, then buy some more stuff, or even just play with this very small little force that's 3D printable, but you at least get to play it and know what it is, And so it lets people get into the game and then slowly start building up the game, their participation in it. But I think for, when you're trying to introduce a bunch of people back into a game that a lot of people kind of consider to be lost, like an old lost game, then I think I still think that's the best way to try to go about it, get new people to try it out.
I can see that. I'm going to kind of be skipping through the chat here a little bit, so I apologize if I missed you. Ring also says, I really liked the Warhammer RPG too. They had a knack for getting you immersed with professions, etc. I never played like Wrath and Glory or whatever the other one was. I hadn't played any of the...
Does he mean the Warhammer 40K RPG, or does he mean the old Warhammer RPG, like from back in the 90s?
I don't know. I assumed it was the newer one, but maybe not.
Because I remember I used to get White Dwarf magazines way back in the day, and that's one of the thing. And every one of them, they would introduce a new town, new people. Like, it was really cool.
Old fantasy RPG said.
Oh yeah, okay, that'd have been the old thing.
Oh man,
and they did.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, like I used to read. So I'd read The Hobbit, but I never read Lord of the Rings. I read The Hobbit when I was in junior high, but like. For me, the fantasy world was the Warhammer fantasy world when I was growing up. Okay. And so I would get so much of that from just reading articles in White Dwarf. Because every episode, and they had illustrations for everything, like they went all in. It's pretty cool.
Well, words. Patty, I'm just going to plug for him real quick because he makes the game. He's a game maker. He made Mutants, plays in 30 minutes, and has campaign play with level ups and injuries.
Well, that sounds interesting, Patty's Parlor. Where exactly could I find such a thing?
Yes, where would one get this game? Please explain. I remember when Kill Team was designed to be played in 40 minutes. 40K in 40 minutes.
Hey.
That sounds like a slogan.
That sounds familiar.
Steve J, I believe Paul answered your question right. Yeah, the GW World Eaters. First time I played Bolt Action with those guys, I'm incredibly fortunate to have had my first game of Bolt Action with such wonderful people. Ruben and his crew are such wonderful people. Ty and Ray, like they put together such an amazing event. So, Flo's painting Mad Max figures. I mean,
basically,
not wrong.
What these guys look like.
No, he said Mass Max figures. These are the post-apocalyptic Catholic characters.
Oh my god. Corn cultist, pretty much, yeah. Though with all these newer, more accessible minis, games with elegant and better rules, there's this strange attraction I just have to my 40k armies, even if I don't enjoy the rule set as much. I know what you mean. I think part of that is community. Like, you know that you can just sign up for a tournament or just go into the game store. You know, a lot of times people set up games ahead of time now with like Discord, but you can just have your army, and it is just nice to just kind of go play this very established game. I understand what you mean from that. Like, there's a certain stability to it.
Well, there's a certain few elements. One being, yeah, you can literally, like, if you're just visiting some city, you can look up, oh, where's the local game store? Go in and you'll probably see people playing the game you play.
Yeah.
Then there's a community in general that you can always chat with. A lot of people there. It's always lively. But then also, like, there's so much lore and such an established and completely thought out world that it's just so immersive. And there's, you know, a dozen really good video games you can always just pick up and get immersed in that world. And so it's such a thing that exists that, you know, the newer games are getting out there, but they're just not, they haven't had the time, you know, to really turn into what a mature fantastic science fiction, grimdark, whatever world that 40K has been spent at this point decades building. So I can understand you.
Pete also adds, I just feel more invested emotionally in my 40k stuff. I wonder if part of it is just all of that lore too, and just hearing and being steeped in it for decades. All right, well, we can probably...
Well, it's a generational game at this point. You play with your kids. At this point, I think there's some people who are playing 40K with their grandchildren.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
You know, who were adults in the late 80s and getting into the game. And then their kids have had kids that are now old enough to actually play 40K. Like, I really do think that it's, at this point, there are some people who are playing 40K with their grandchildren.
That is amazing. Oh, man. All right. But I think we'll call it here. Let's see.
You know what? Yeah. For Rignan Roach, he says, yeah, it feels like they wrecked my fantasy world to sell their 40K as fantasy game. And they did. I remember what we were at LVO when they had their very last Warhammer Fantasy Battle Tournament.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Like this room full of sad people that were just giving it their last hurrah because Age of Sigmar was taking off. But you do still have all of your old RPG stuff, which for RPGs, that actually does work more than miniature games. You can get 5 people interested, then there you go. You're off and running. And you can supplement it all with the new old world stuff they're putting out, which slots right back into Warhammer Fantasy Battle. And so you can pick up that old RPG right where it left off, which is super cool.
That's a big part of it. So many people can't break away from 40K. They can't leave it for 6 months. They can leave it for 6 months or so, but they almost always come back. It's pretty easy to come back to, interestingly enough. So I don't think you just beat GW, especially if people are inheriting armies or have been collecting for 3 decades. It's a different game for that. But maybe we can pick that up next time. We'll be back in 2 weeks, which should be what, October 16th.
Going back in time, huh?
I wish. So I feel like we need to lean into a more Halloween-y theme. Oh, although my next live stream after that will be the day before Halloween. So maybe I'll
what are you talking about? Look behind you there. You have a Halloween-themed Cadian soldier right behind you.
I do. Check him out. He's little Stan over there. There we go. 2 weeks. I love that movie. Oh man, for whatever reason, Total Recall was the thing I just watched over and over as a young child. But anyway, yes, we'll be back in 2 weeks. I'm going to play my outro here, so feel free to keep chatting and I will answer your questions in the chat. Flo, any sign off, any final thoughts on your minis there?
Nope. I'll probably still have more World Eaters to work on. Different models, but still the same army.
I love it. All right. Well, we'll see you guys next time.
Barry, cover me. All right, guys, this is it. Copy that. No more sandwiches, Barry.
What's wrong with this place? I'm in the west corridor. I'm right outside the generator room. I'm out of bullets.